Ciao everybody, my name is Anthony. Welcome back to Inter Worldwide. Very short match reaction, but what I can do for you guys is give you a very thorough match reaction in a short amount of time. Why? Because like an idiot, I woke up once again to watch this game, but like an even bigger buffoon, so did my fiance, who never ever wakes up that early in the morning, and we were able to catch this entire game and we were poor once again. There is not something wrong, there is so much wrong. And the only thing that's getting a club like this over the line at the moment is the fact that man for man, our players are still good enough to beat an opposition like Udinese. Man for man, we still have the players that over the course of 75, 80, 85, 90, 94 minutes will still get the job done. Not many clubs in the world have the luxury of playing like crap and turning to a Lautaro on their bench. When you've got a Lautaro on your bench, you have an ace up your sleeve. Today, the rotation from Inzaghi was heavy. I was upset with the starting lineup, but I still swallowed it in the morning and said, it's got to be enough to beat Udinese at home. Yeah, Lautaro's on the bench, but your €12.5 million loan striker Lukaku is on the pitch. That should be enough. Yeah, you might need to rest Hakan Çalhanoğlu, but Marcelo Brozovic returned to the starting lineup today. That should be enough. It wasn't enough for such large periods of the game. Success. He is such a good player. He is such a good player. I'd love for us to make a bid for success. The fact that his name is Success means you should make a bid for success. Imagine buying an Inter jersey with success on the back of it. That's more success than we'll ever get in actual success. He's a really good player. But today, you might as well call him Unsuccess, because he was so bad in front of goal. How many times today did Success have an opportunity to put Udinese in front and he did not? And he was really upset. Most notably, we coughed up a really good chance in the second half to make it 2-1. It was Edin Dzeko after a great strip from Mkhitaryan. It was a fantastic tackle. Was it Mkhitaryan or Hakan? It was Mkhitaryan. He made the disposal. He got the ball to Dzeko, and Dzeko smashed it right at the keeper's chest. It was horrendous. But I'm jumping the gun. Let's dial it back. Because once again, even though this ain't no live, it's just a video, I watched the whole game back to front. Minute 4 or minute 5, Nico Barella gets tumbled in the box. That's a penalty. I don't care what anybody says. And anybody who's been following me long enough knows that when Inter get penalties, I'm one of the first fans to look for reasons why it shouldn't be a penalty. And if it's 50-50, I'll say it's not a penalty. We don't deserve it. No. That was a penalty, man. That's not shoulder to shoulder. He's nudged. And yeah, it's soft. Yeah, Nico goes down easy. That is a bloody penalty, letter of the law. That's a penalty. But it's okay. Let's not spend too much time dwelling on it because we won the game. As the game goes on around about minute 24, 25, something like that, I can't remember for the life of me, we get given a penalty and my dog can roll a tennis ball across the floor as fast as Romelu Lukaku rolled that penalty to the left-hand side of the goalkeeper. That was disgusting. That was horrible. Oh, you guys thought I was going to go through this video without picking on Romelu Lukaku. You're wrong. He was horrible today, all over. Again, he sucked. He gets a below 5 out of 10 from me today. And anyone who's giving him a 5 out of 10 or a 5.5, no. Just because he's on the score sheet, no. Lucky he scored that second penalty. We're lucky he even got to retake it. I've seen the replay. The keeper's foot is barely a couple of blades of grass off the line. What a gift for Inter. What a gift for Romelu Lukaku. Like we said in the living room, the guy's got a guardian angel, and he showed it when he scored the second penalty. He looked up to the skies above and went, Allah, thank you so much, because I didn't deserve that. Anyway, moving on. 2 minutes before halftime, Romelu Lukaku plays a horrible ball in midfield to a running Nico Barella. It's intercepted and Udinese go on to make it 1-1. Remember how Romelu Lukaku lashed out on the field to Nico Barella for waving his arms up in the air and being frustrated? All good, Rom. I'm sure Nico Barella gave you a thumbs up to protect your €12.5 million feelings in that particular situation. Moving on. Second half starts and Inter actually start to show a little bit of flair around about minute 62, 63. Inzaghi makes a few changes. He makes a change for Damiano D'Ambrosio at halftime, which wasn't a great change for me. There was one scenario where D'Ambrosio was running back and Beto, big bad Beto, one stride length on his legs is like 4 on D'Ambrosio's. Beto's a beast, man. I want to know what he's available for. You send Lukaku back to Chelsea, you save 12 million. Are you seriously telling me a club like Udinese wouldn't take that money up front? You pay 12 million to Beto as a loan with an obligation to buy. Pay the remainder over the next year or two. You can do that. I don't want to hear it. Like, Beto's more than enough for me. After looking at the way Lukaku's playing, and I love Edin Dzeko, but looking at the way Dzeko is obviously going to keep regressing, you bring Beto in next season, I will call that grade A damage control from Beppe Marotta and Piero Zilio. If our directors can get that over the line, that's grade A damage control for me. Thanks for sticking with me. I know it's a longer than usual video, but I watched this game so thoroughly, and it was a game that I really didn't want to watch. I would have loved to sleep through this. I would have loved not seeing this. But 6:45 might as well be midday for me these days, so it just wasn't an option. The game goes on, and Mkhitaryan, who basically turns into a colossus into the second half, after that disposal and missed Dzeko opportunity, DiMarco brings a ball in. That finish for our 2-1, which is all that the commentators are talking about, all that anyone's talking about online, that's a really good goal, man. That second goal that Inter scores today to make it 2-1, that flare finish from midfield to basically swerve the ball, that's a really good goal. Like, that's going to be on our highlight reel at the end of the season. If anything, that might be a contender for our goal of the season so far. Just the way the team connected for that and the way Mkhitaryan finished it. It's nice to say that after we made it 2-1 today, we actually didn't look shit. We did not look hopeless. Yeah, I did the anti-Inter thing and I got on my phone and I called Bet365. Of course I did when we made it 2-1. But still, we didn't look like we were going to bomb it the way that we did against Monza. Lautaro, and I said this before he scored, he was going to score today. He had something to prove. You could just tell. He wasn't happy with the last 2 games that he's played. We all know that there's still something in his head that's saying that Argentina won the World Cup and I didn't get a lot of credit for it. I was poor. I was below average in the World Cup. I still remember watching the first game where he scored those disallowed goals against Saudi Arabia. If those goals were allowed, Lautaro Martinez El Toro would have had a much better World Cup. Unfortunately, that first game against Saudi Arabia where he scored those amazing goals and they were disallowed, that really shook his confidence for the tournament. He's back and we need to support him with everything because there aren't many players that have that sort of confidence and clout. He came off the bench today. He had a one-on-one chance to win the game. He f***ed it up so bad. That is such a royal f*** from a number 10. He had a player on the inside, Mkhitaryan again, or Hakan, I think it might have been. You know, if we go on to draw that game 2-2, you could almost pin Lautaro in the corner and go, you idiot. You had the game on your plate. But what happens 100 seconds later? Lautaro goes clear on goal and finishes it in the air like a world-class striker would. He doesn't put it into he doesn't go for the floor. He doesn't try to round. He just literally just finesses it past the keeper. And it's 3-1 and Inter beat Udinese on this Sunday morning. In context, which is all important at this point of the season and the year, we've played 23 games now in Serie A. We have about 15 games remaining. We are second, and we are second by about 4 points, I believe. I haven't even checked the ladder this morning. Maybe we're only second by like 2 points, 3 points. The bottom line is that we won today, which means we're second, and we will stay second for another week or two. So the questions that we need to ask now, boys and girls, one girl, whoever, what moves does Inter need to make in this offseason to ensure that we stay competitive? If it means selling a 30-year-old Brozovic just because it's the last year we can get the money, then it needs to happen. It needs to happen. Because he wasn't great today. Players that were good today, Bastoni, I thought was decent. DiMarco, Wasn't great, but still better than the rest. I think Mkhitaryan had a great game, and his goal will warrant that. I think Nico Barella, for the frustration that he causes, is still the hardest working, most enthused, biggest bull out there. Barella is the guy. He's our guy. And if he didn't have such a prissy little attitude, he would be the next captain. And we all know this. We all know that Nico Barella should be the captain at some point, but he's letting himself down with his attitude and his inability to control his emotions on the pitch, as you've seen with his outburst towards Romelu Lukaku recently. Guys, I'm really happy. I'm not really happy. I'm just content because I don't need to face another Sunday where we've dropped points. I don't need to face another Sunday in the league where Milan has won and we haven't. I don't need to face another match day where Juventus gets another 3 points and we don't. And that's important to me. But what's more important to me and what's more important than all of us as we finish this is we have our biggest game of the season coming up in about 3 or 4 days. We are in the round of 16 of the Champions League. We are in the knockouts of the Champions League. And we play the best team in Portugal. We play the best team in Portugal, which is FC Porto. You could argue it's Benfica, but let's face it, it's Porto. We play FC Porto in the Champions League. And what an opportunity it is for us. I remember watching the draw live in bed with my missus, and she's probably thinking I'm weird because I'm celebrating random teams getting called out. No, when that name Real Madrid got called out and it wasn't us, I was ecstatic. When that name Manchester City got drawn out and it wasn't us, I was ecstatic. We've got a chance here. Porto is a great side. We need to respect them. And when I visit Portugal one day, they will probably be the first club I go and watch. What a beautiful country and what a beautiful club. FC Porto. I'm so excited for this Champions League game because I really respect this opponent. This is the sort of opponent that gives me nostalgia for my primary school and high school years. Waking up in the morning, turning on SBS in Australia and going, wow, great game of Champions League. FC Porto's on TV. Inter play FC Porto in the Champions League next week. I'm fucking geared for that. And if you're not geared for that, start getting geared for that. Because we all know that Napoli has won the Italian league. They're going to do it this year. And full clout to them. Go Napoli, bro. What a train. Did you see them yesterday? This Napoli team is incredible. They will win Serie A. Our responsibility is to finish in the top 4 of Serie A to guarantee Champions League. To be honest, I'm trying not to think about this too much, but we need to whoop Juventus's ass in the Coppa Italia semi-final. We need to beat them in the cup. We haven't got much left to hang on to this season. And something that will make me really happy is if we can whoop Allegri and those dogs in Turin and in Milan. At least one of them. And third, get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. It has been 10 years or 11 years since Inter has gotten to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. The last 8, the final 8 teams. Let's do it. It's going to be hard. I don't think we're going to go to the Dragao in Portugal and beat Porto. I think we'll draw. But we'll beat them in Milan. We'll beat them in Milano. And we'll go through to the quarterfinals. And we'll look back at this season and go, we've made the quarterfinals. And that's good. It doesn't represent a full-blown success of a season. But by winning today, we can just keep going game by game and resetting the expectations as the context suits it. Bit longer than usual, but I've been doing short match reactions because my life has just not permitted me to tune in fully to Inter games. And the stress of watching Inter play has seen me not watch the games very intently. But today I watched this game back to back to front, to the millisecond. And we beat them 3-1. And it was a decent finish to the game that was very poor. I'm glad that the team dug deep and picked up their balls and picked up their guts in the last 20 minutes of that game, because Inter went on to win that game in the last 20 minutes today. And for that, I'm happy. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video. It was a very long match reaction. I'm looking at it right now. It's almost 15 minutes. I'm nowhere near bothered to edit it and put images on top. So you're just going to have to listen to me the whole time. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you for Porto. If I don't have time to do a detailed match preview, I know for a fact that Uncle Sharma is doing a very nice preview with English-speaking FC Porto fans. So make sure you go to his channel to check it out before you go anywhere near ours. My name is Anthony. Forza Inter Worldwide. Ciao.